Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big Blue, and we're back over here with another video. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Seems like this one had fell through the cracks somehow. It's a couple of days late. I tend to be quick when it comes to the Charles Kirk videos. This one's going to be another Charles Kirk video just to check and see what's happening. So this one's going to be titled Charles Kirk Shuts Down Girl Who is Making Excuse for Criminals. Looks like she's a young white lady trying to make excuse for criminals. Let's check it out. I hope it doesn't get bad, because at the end of the day, say what you want. Free Pookie, free Young Lil, free JoJo, all that stuff. Like, if you committed the crime, you committed the crime. If it's a crime, then it's a crime. I don't like, oh, there's free so-and-so and free so-and-so. Did they do it? If the answer is yes, then that's where they should be. I don't understand. If they didn't do it, okay. That's what we have lawyers for. I mean, people can't afford lawyers. I don't know. At that point, the only thing that could really be said, which sounds messed up to say, you shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. But again, justification, hoods, lack of money, poverty, this, that, and the third, that anybody can say. So let's see what's going on here. All right.
But don't you think that, like, there's a reason that a lot of the black community doesn't have a father, and it's because of systemic racism. It's because, like, black men are more likely to be in prison.
Oh yeah, so why do people go to prison?
For, like, a lot of the time, it's because they're in poverty and they have no other way to get.
Okay, so they commit crimes.
Because
Yeah, but so wait. So
why do they
So wait, if you're
commit crimes?
So in poverty, we should give excuses for committing crime?
Yes, because if they have
like murder?
I did not say murder. I'm saying
choose your words wisely. A crime is a crime. That involves every last spectrum of something that is illegal to do in the States. Choose your words wisely.
Like, if someone is stealing something because they have no money and there's no jobs.
That's so interesting. So you think most crimes are crimes of necessity in the black community?
I'm not saying most.
So like gangbanging is like a crime of necessity.
This is the same thing. Okay, I'm going to try to stopping too much. But this is kind of the same thing when it comes to the whole abortion talk. And I've said this before and I'll say this again. There's one such situations where she's trying to find excuses for people being in jail because of crimes that they commit that were petty crimes because of a systemic racism and the hood and all that stuff. And that's the reason why, black people do these crimes. They're trying to steal, trying to get for their family, but then they get caught and end up in jail and all that stuff. These are very few cases compared to the majority. Just like with abortion, when it comes to rape, when it comes to incest, or a child getting pregnant at a young age. Again, unless a lot of these are not being reported, these are very few situations. Majority of the cases of abortion is women, a mistake that they feel is a mistake. Same way here. Majority of the cases in the black community where they're committing crimes, especially nowadays, they committed the crime intentionally, and it wasn't because of a necessity. Okay, stop. Let me think about that. I see where she's going. Because I'm thinking about it in a situation. Okay, let's say I'm a young black dude in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I'm in the hood, growing up in the hood. Both my parents are working. So I'm going to school. I get out of school. We ain't got no money. Bills are running low. I mean, they had a movie like this. Tyler Perry had a movie like this. I forget which one it was, but it was with the mother who she was broke. She was divorced with the husband. She had the two kids. One of them was in high school that was going to be a baller and stuff like that. So he was in and out of, practicing and whatnot. During the time that he was in high school, bills started getting crazy for the mom. She wasn't able to pay the light bill. Power goes out. They shut off the power. About to get evicted, I think, or something to that extent. So the son feels like there's nothing else that he can do at this moment but make quick money. So yes, I understand in that aspect. And okay, I guess, yes, that is a lot of cases for a lot of young folk and some older cats as well. So yes, I can understand why people felt this way. I guess the question at this point is, where did this start? When the houses kind of got segregated, the whole redlining, and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know when exactly all this started. Then when that type of atmosphere started, I mean, clearly it started once the hood was developed, or the ghettos, or whatever the case may be, when drugs started to be put into the communities. But when did that happen? The 70s, 60s, 50s? I don't think it was the 50s. It could have, I mean, it could have been the 50s. I don't know. But as time progresses, it's really up to the individual to be able to break out of that cycle, this daunting, this evil spirited cycle of just being caught in the system and not being able to break free. And then your kids get stuck in it, and then they get older, then they have kids and end up in these situations where they're just mating and don't even care, and then they end up in jail. Now the kids are fatherless, and then they grow up fatherless, and then they become fathers but then not around, and whatever. It's just a continuous cycle. And then right now we're in this time period where it's getting real hectic and real crazy. At the end of it all, Jesus is the answer. You look at Christianity, not even in a sense of, oh, you got to go to church, oh, you got to do this, got to go to that, because that's not even the idea. The idea of Christianity is having a relationship with the Almighty God. And it's not saying that there's a God that I can never reach. No, that's not the case. That's never the case. There is a God that you can reach, the only God that you can reach, the only Father that is in heaven that wants the relationship with you, and that gives us specific guidelines on how to live on this earth. The reason that they don't work is because we're human and we're flawed. But when we follow the guidelines that have been set before us through the Bible, that's when our life changes and you're able to make better decisions. Even in your roughest times, even in the deepest and the most darkest, there was a testimony I will always say to anybody. I was at a point literally last year for 9 months. Okay, we were living in a situation where majority of the month, I would say 2.5 to 3 weeks out of the month, our account was negative. We didn't go much. We didn't buy extra food. I never have a whole bunch of extra clothes. I don't spend excessively. The money, I don't even get money for myself. I don't even get money for myself to pay stuff. If I give myself money, it's to pay for gas. My family is the one that I take care of. All these crazy bills have started hitting us out of nowhere, and I'm literally the man of this household, and we're in the negative majority of the month for 9 months. I could have easily done what she's talking about and try to find ways to find food or to make money so that we could be out of this situation. But who did I rely my trust on? God. And now he got me out of this situation. Waited long enough, continued to do what it is that I was doing, being patient and being diligent in my works and in my faith. And I managed to and God got us out of that situation easily. I'm saying if God and Jesus was just part of everybody's lives, things will take time. There will be some suffering, but God does not put us here to suffer every single time. And the suffering is only temporary. It's only temporary if you truly put your faith in God. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's keep going with the video. I'm gonna stop talking till the end. I'll try.
Necessity.
That I literally never said that. I'm saying,
But
like,
you're making an argument of crimes of necessity. Like they're so hungry they can't handle it.
I'm talking about like crime that has to do with like getting food, getting stuff that you need to live.
Right, but we have food stamps for anyone that needs it, so that doesn't exist. We have subsidized housing for anyone that needs it, so that doesn't exist. We have free health care for any poor person that wants it, called Medicaid. That doesn't exist. We also have welfare, cash, for anyone that wants it, so that doesn't exist. So what is it they're missing that they need to go? Sorry about that.
Well, the food, like a lot of food stamps might not cover all of what they need, and also housing is like there's not unlimited housing. A lot of people who are unhoused have to like go to shelters, and then they get kicked out of shelters because there's a mandatory stay limit. So it's not like you just get a house.
It's not a stuff thing, though, right? It's like if you need stuff, there's also tons of charities out there that can provide assistance. Churches, you will not go hungry in this country. You will not starve in this country.
Yes, you will. There's like,
no, we have an obesity problem.
Street?
We have an obesity problem, not a starvation problem in this country.
What are you talking about?
In State Street, if any one of those people went to the local Episcopalian church or Methodist church, they will get fed.
They will get fed.
I guarantee it. If they go to a local food shelter, they will get fed.
They will get fed. My church definitely has a pantry that they have every Saturday and Wednesday where they provide food for those in the community. The homeless people, I mean, I guess they don't know, but no, yeah. you will find somewhere where somebody, if anything, is going to be a church that will give you food.
I'm talking, okay, housing.
For housing.
At least in Georgia. I don't know about anywhere else.
If we have Section 8 subsidized housing in this country, right? If you want to have a roof over your head, you can have a roof over your head.
With like thousands of rules, and you can't
yes,
do
anything. Of course, yes. I mean,
like,
it's not ideal, but the point is this. So let's just go back to the crime and necessity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do people commit crimes?
I'm not saying why all people commit crimes. I'm saying there are people who commit crimes because they have no other choice.
Got it. So why is it that other people that are as poor as they are in separate racial groups don't commit crimes at the same rates? For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit over 50% of the crimes. Why is that?
Black people, I would say, not blacks.
Okay,
but
it's not. I could say whites, and you wouldn't.
Blacks, whites, squash, potato, cucumber, pickle. What is she saying?
Care. So
Anyway,
hold on. Right? I can say Hispanics, you wouldn't care. So don't
I think
police
I might,
my language.
But whatever. I'm not policing your language. I'm just saying I would say black
Fair
people.
enough. But the insinuation is that
Okay.
I'm being racist. But that's fine.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Yeah, but so black
understand why you keep getting
Americans
upset
are
about that.
13% of the population and commit anywhere between 50 to 56% of murders, crimes, carjackings. Why is that?
Well, what percentage of the white population is living in the same level of poverty?
Got it. So there's twice as many white Americans in poverty as black Americans. Not the same percentage, but still, if you look at white Americans in poverty, they commit far less crimes than black Americans in poverty. Why is that?
Maybe it's because when you're in a store, like, they follow black people and they don't follow white people.
What about murder?
Rural?
No, but why is it that, like, just saying murder, you're being followed in a store and you commit more murders?
Yeah.
You're making the rule, or I'll get to you in a sec, but
Okay,
it's not,
anyway.
it's not a good argument. But let me just go back to one thing you said. Systemic
Whatever, you're
racism,
good.
right? So the idea of systemic is that it's
Yeah.
within our laws. There are some black Americans here listening. What can you as a white American do that the black American cannot do?
Let's see. I could go into a store and not get followed. The police.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
Could not track me down on, like, when I'm driving. I'm less likely to get shot and killed while I'm driving.
Most of these issues are in regards to people not complying, but I guess
There's a lot of things that I can do.
Okay, so just be clear. So if you walk into a local CVS here, how would you guys be treated differently?
Well, they would probably say hello, and they would probably, like, just walk, like, let me in and, like, not follow me, and then.
So these are a lot of probablys. I don't believe you, but I'm talking about laws, right? So what in the legal code of America can you as a white individual do that the black individual can't? Because systemic means it's in our code, right? It's like, for example, like Jim Crow, totally get it. That's systemic racism. What is systemically your advantage?
Maybe, like, housing codes, because I know redlining isn't a thing anymore, but there is, isn't there people who are white are more likely to be given loans because of, like, they have less.
I don't really call that.
Like, I don't know. That's just it's back from redlining. Like, it's a lot of the same stuff.
So, I don't buy into any of that. So I just kind of go.
You don't buy into redlining, or you don't buy
into redlining. I don't buy any of that stuff that happens. In fact, it's the opposite. Loans are now given favorably to black Americans in certain cities over white Americans.
Okay, but
so we
you
could,
think
because
redlining?
I believe in. I know redlining existed.
Okay,
I don't debate that. Of course, I have. But because of DEI and because of affirmative action, there's actually a preference given. But so let's go back to fathers, right?
Okay, let's go back to fathers.
So something happened to black America since 1965. So in 1965, so.
You mean the war on drugs?
Right. Well, so if that's your contention, that's fine. So in order to go to jail for the war on drugs, you have to be dealing drugs, right? Or you have to be caught with drugs. So if you don't
which is one of, like, the main jobs that you can have in a, like, poverty-stricken. Like, if there's no jobs, like, you're going to do drugs. I mean, you're going to trade drugs because that's the only option you have.
It's such a difference in worldview. You're making excuses for criminals.
Yeah.
And what an insult to poor immigrants that came to this country that didn't commit crimes and worked 2 or 3 jobs and worked themselves out of poverty and didn't decide to go deal coke.
Well, my father is a white immigrant from Poland, and he committed crimes, and he's fine now. So
Did he go to jail?
Yeah, he did.
I thought there was systemic racism. I thought that doesn't happen very much.
I never said white people don't go to jail. I said they go more, and you're saying that white immigrants are fine and they don't.
No,
I'm
it's
saying
far
that they
less
do.
actually. I'm glad he went to jail if he committed a crime. I think it's terrible.
Yeah,
So,
well-
but at the core of it, we have a difference in worldview, right? My worldview is I'm not sympathetic to people that steal, that loot, and murder, because that's a values problem, and I don't like making excuses for people that do things that are obviously destructive. Secondly, we have a problem in Black America. The biggest problem is not racism, it's the lack of dads. If dads are around, kids flourish. And you know who agreed with me? Barack Obama. Barack Obama used to make this a central piece of his campaign. He came to this campus back in 2012, drew like a 100,000 person crowd, and talked about how we need to rebuild the black family and put dads back. Why doesn't the Democrat Party talk about that anymore?
I'm fine with having
No,
fathers.
no,
I'm not against having black
for,
dads.
For sure. I'm saying, but don't we agree? Has anyone heard that mentioned on the national scale in the last 10 years?
Nope. I think Usher mentioned that in the awards recently, and either they cut that part out. I think they may have cut that part out from the live broadcast. But a lot of people were recording, and either I don't know what the deal was. Some people, they were still able to get the recording of that, and I think he was mentioning about how we need to bring black fathers back into the black community, and for some reason it was cut out. Not sure why, but it seemed to be very specific, or that cutout seemed to have been on purpose. And if they're doing that, then I think they may be trying to prevent certain information from getting out, because that'll affect certain industries. Call it a conspiracy theory, but if 1 + 1 = 2, then I'm thinking that may be the case.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard about
Probably
like,
not.
yeah, and
Because
why
there's
is that?
bigger issues.
No, there isn't. See, that's the issue, is that
I don't think
this is
so.
what makes us different. As a conservative, I focus on, if you have family breakdown, don't worry about climate change, don't worry about systemic racism. All that stuff is like these crazy
What do
abstractions.
you think create family problems? Systemic racism creates family problems. If you take away black people from their families, then they're going to have
Right.
broken families.
Okay, so, but that's interesting. How are you taking them away? Aren't they leaving? They're not staying with the women they're impregnating. So, for example, there 13% of the population is black. Not every single person ends up in jail, obviously, and yet there's huge child abandonment, because there's a cultural expectation that is different in Black America than in white America, which is it's okay to impregnate a woman and abandon her in Black America. It's not
based on what? What is that based on?
That's a good question. Where does it come from? It's just based on.
No, I'm saying, what is that, like, your view of Black America?
Well, it's not a view. It's true. I mean, don't take my word for it. Look at Thomas Sowell and Shelby Steele that have done amazing analysis on this. It's that in black culture, that is not considered to be a stigma. In white upper middle class.
Somebody comment and say that isn't true. I may be biased, but I mean, this is coming from somebody who worked in the public school system. I walked around the hallways. I know a lot of the kids, middle school kids, the majority of them do not have dads. I used to work in factories where a lot of the line workers were women who had kids, but they didn't have a father. They were all black. Somebody tell me that what he just said is not true.
Culture, for those of you that grew up in Waukesha or Libertyville or grew up in Hinsdale or grew up in Naperville, you guys all know those neighborhoods. If you impregnate a girl, a woman, and you just like abandon her, that's frowned upon. That is a social stigma in upper middle class white culture.
And it's not in black culture?
No. In fact, it's glorified by the rap culture.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? If you reached this far into the video, that means that you are a real one, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you. We reached 500 subs, which is great. Thank you guys so much. And that being said, we're halfway to our goal, which is 1,000 subs. Let's clap it up. So as a token of my appreciation, we're going to be doing a small giveaway once we hit the goal. But do know that as this channel continues to grow, the giveaway amount is also going to grow. But more details is going to come later on. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and like, subscribe so you can be part of this great community of living one ghetto. Let's go ahead and get back to the video. It's glorified in the rap culture. Glorified? I don't listen to much rap nowadays. Glorified isn't the word that I would say, but it wasn't the glorifying action. Okay. Here's what it is. I don't want to say that it's glorified by the rap, the rap culture, but I will say that attitudes and task actions in the rap culture that would be glorified would result mostly in impregnating a woman. And they don't say nothing about staying with a woman and, you know, if anything, having multiple women. And it's kind of hard to have multiple women and, you know, having sex with all these women and then not impregnating them and stuff like that. So essentially, yes, at some point in the equation, I guess you can tap into the idea of the rap culture glorifying these deadbeat dads. It's not directly, but at the end of it, yes. So okay, I get that. And it's interesting. The more that I do these videos and the more that I see exactly what's going on in like the black culture and like people and like their identity and the reason why they do things and stuff like that, it all makes me point out that following Jesus is really the only way to live a life where you're not worried about all this stuff. She mentioned about not getting the things that you want. Yes, you can get, and Charles was definitely spot on with this. Yes, you can get government aid. Yes, you can get food stamps. Yes, they'll help you with housing and all this. Is it frowned upon by a lot of people that you're having to take these types of subsidies? For some people, yeah. It is. I would feel some type of way if I didn't need food stamps, especially in the situation that I'm in now, or I needed assistance to get a house. Yes, I would feel some type of way. Am I going to resort to crime to get the things that I want? No, because if that was the case, I would have been doing crime like I did when I was younger. But even then, it was just petty crime. I just stole like little toys and stuff like that and stole some money from people so that I can buy whatever the heck that I wanted. But it wasn't like anything like extravagant. Of course, as I got older, I wanted more things. But by that time, I had already accepted Jesus in my life, and I did not want to commit those crimes because that was against being a Christian. That was against following the God who instructed me to not bring harm to anybody else. If I'm stealing or trying to get what I want by means that affect somebody else, and that means I'm bringing somebody else down for my own gain, and that's not being a Christian. So I do what I need to do. I work wherever I need to work to get in a position to where I don't have to commit crimes, where I don't have to steal, where I don't feel like I have to go out and do X, Y, and Z. I don't want to buy the latest cars, so I need to get X amount of money quick so that I can get the latest car or the latest Gucci bag or the latest, Gucci belt and all that stuff. None of that stuff matters to me. That's all consumables, and that all tends to the flesh, and that's all temporary stuff to just feel wanted or whatever the case may be. None of that is important. None of that's important. But a lot of people in the black community feel like that's important. So the reason that they commit these crimes and that they sell these drugs and do all these things is for stuff like that. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment below. As always, if you guys like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, and every time a video comes out that I drop, hit that bell so that you could always see it firsthand. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Take it easy.